What's up, everybody? Hope y'all missed me. I wasn't here last week. All right, give everybody a couple more minutes to get in here. Then we got a long day today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. I've been in my God body mode the last couple weeks since I missed last week. It's gonna be heavy. You know what I mean? Like I'm really load up today just because I got some things I wanted to say, and I really couldn't formulate my thoughts. I probably needed to say something last week, but I didn't have all the words for it, so I really didn't have the, like the flow to make a good video anyway. But today I had to put something together because, like, I like to share my own personal journey while I'm doing this. I'm really telling y'all what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, this is a fitness topic, but it don't really be a fitness topic for me. It'd be an up here topic, and then I relate into like a fitness format. You know what I mean? But a lot of times we need that, and I have a good friend where we talk in that lingo. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like when you're working out and you this. It's kind of like when you're doing this and that. And I think a lot of that matters because with y'all, hopefully, if you can listen to my underlying message, then you'll be able to learn and grow. And if you're younger than me, you can skip a lot of these steps that I've already been through. You know what I mean? That way you can kind of get to the end and not have to worry too much about, the frivolous, what should I do? How should I? What do I need to? You know what I mean? So, all right. So let's start off. What's going on? What's going on, David? I feel you. What's going on, man? I see you in the chat. All right. So let's get started. The question of today, or what we're talking about today pretty much, is building your body and trying to deal with the stresses of life at the same time. And it's crazy, right? When you think about it, you got all this stuff going on in your real world, and then you still got to get your body right. But it's like, how do you prioritize maintaining your physique or even bringing your physique up when you got all of this other stuff, on your chart to think about? You know what I mean? And it's very hard to get things off your list so that you can feel better. A lot of times, like when you looked your best, you had the least amount of things going on in your life, or you didn't have that many things to worry about. Or even sometimes, like, you might be somebody like me who was going through a lot, and instead of dealing with life, I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and focus on my body, and I'll get to that big stuff later. So one of the two things can happen, you know what I mean? But still, inevitably you got to get to the stresses and you got to knock that stuff out one way or another. But like you're selfishly consuming yourself all in your body without actually taking care of yourself. Hold on a second. My air can... Even though it is hot. Might be just in my pajama pants. All right. So the way you look says a lot about your life. Okay. And and it's not always accurate, but when you look like a certain thing, it says a lot about you. It tells a lot about your character to somebody who's judging you from the outside looking in. Now, and that's what I'm saying. It may not be accurate, but what's the message you want to give off? Right? What do you people to say about you when they first see you, or when they come to a room and I see, an overweight dude? I ain't gonna use the real term, but I might see an overweight dude and he looks like he don't really take care of his body. Now, I might look at him and be like, look at this dude, man. He don't even like he can't take care of his body, so he's not serious about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not serious, but if I ask him to do something, he's not gonna be serious because he's not even disciplined enough to take care of his body. Like, or I might see somebody who takes care of their, like, they work out, but all he got is arms. Now I'm looking at you, I'm like, this dude, yeah, he does this, but I probably can only count on him for one thing because he skips other stuff. He ain't willing to do all the work. He want to take the shortcuts and look like he does the work. So I'm judging you mentally about your whole life based on a couple of features. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could be wrong. You could just be a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's just doing his best. But what's that? Is that the message you want to give off? If somebody's looking at you like that? Maybe not. Maybe you don't want to look like somebody who can't finish the job, or who can only do a couple things but doesn't want to do the hard work. When it comes to something, maybe you want to look like a complete figure, and somebody's looking at you like, wow, you know what? That dude, I could tell he's disciplined. I could tell he's confident. I could tell he's this. I could tell he's that. I could tell he's whatever. Or this woman, I could tell she takes care of her body, so I know she'll take care of me. I know she takes care of herself, so I know she's, realistic about this or this about this, or even if she looks a certain way, you kind of know what kind of lifestyle she lives. You know what I mean? Like, so different things tell you a lot about that person's body. Now, of course, you got external circumstances like physical disabilities and your health and all this other stuff. So yeah, you don't want to judge a book by its cover. But if we already judge you, like, it's too late. Now that I ask you, it's like, oh, that's what you got. Oh, you got a thyroid issue. Oh, my apologies. Tell you what I was thinking, but I just thought you was, pregnant or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I won't say that. But the thing is, though, it comes off like that. Like, you got to remember, you look like what you want, people to know about you. And so, what message do you want to give off? Do you want to give off the message like you don't have time to take care of yourself? Do you want to give off the message like you don't take yourself seriously? So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, the second thing, let's talk about, to move forward accurately, you got to peel back the layers, and get to the core issues of your life, right? Like, to really work out and to really get in your bag. Like, you got to peel back layers of your life and figure out why it is that you want to do this, like, and what it is that's stopping you from doing it, because your motivation and your need for motivation from all these different things and your reasons, none of them are stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you got to peel, instead of you trying to figure out stuff, what you need to do instead is take away things and say, okay, what is it that I don't need in my life? What's distracting me? What's taking me away from being happy? What would make me, more of my, more of myself if I was able to do this? What's standing in my way? What's the biggest thing on my list that's keeping me from, putting my body first? Or maybe I should be taking care of my body, but I'm just not utilizing my time properly. Like, all these different things matter, and you gotta keep up with this stuff, because at the end of the day, you still got to look like something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so after all of that feelings and after all of this stuff that's going on in the world, you still got to look like something. And so, your body takes the back burner to all of that stuff that's here and outside, right? But what about chest, shoulders, triceps, legs, abs, back, biceps, shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Your neck, forearms, your curl. Like, what about that stuff? You see what I'm saying? What about internally, what you're eating, what you're feeding yourself, all that stuff? So, like, the physical body still has to, you got to remember it. You can't just write it off and be like, I'm going to do all this stuff. So, and I'll get to that. We're going to get more into that in a second, okay? So, peeling back the layers. Now, during the growth of your body, right? And just like when I say peeling back the layers, sometimes it's like going on a diet. Like, all the things that are making you look bad. So instead of you saying, okay, well, I'm about to go on a diet, why don't you first just take out all this stuff that was making you look bad, and start with that, and then see what you look like without eating the stuff that made you look bad, and then that'll be your baseline, right? Maybe do those couple things first, take out the stuff that makes you look bad, and then start doing some exercise, and then see kind of where you balance out, and then say, what, do I need to go on a diet? No, I kind of like this, or because now you're fitting a program into your lifestyle, but not doing the extra stuff that's making you look worse. Okay, so keep that in mind. But during the growth of your body or in your life, you can skip big steps in order to get to an end illusion, and that can be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, skipping big things just to get to the end goal, or just being able to show or look like I do something. Like, that's a problem, and that's where people start to take shortcuts and start to skip stuff, or start to do things to manipulate, their body, or, use, extra things to either make themselves lose weight or to make themselves gain weight. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you start getting into the manipulation stuff, because, you want to skip steps, and skipping steps never addresses the core issue. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, you never really address the core issue. If y'all taking something, or if you're trying to get big, you just trying to I just want to, like, for what? Like, what was the, you know what I'm saying? What was the core issue? Like, why you want to do that first and foremost? First and foremost, figure out why you want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to prove? And then you can say, oh, okay, why? Because even like with professional bodybuilders, professional athletes, when you hear about them doing something, like they get caught for, PEDs or something like that, there was a reason. Like, they're professionals and they're doing it for a reason, and they got to compete, and their money's on the line, and they pay for their kids' schools and stuff like that. When some regular dude is doing it, you just a police officer. Like, For what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you trying to prove? Like, so my thing is, like certain things you don't necessarily, you need to put it into a perspective. Like maybe you got an issue from childhood trauma that you need to address first. And that's why you're having this, issue of wanting to get into that area. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Like that might be your biggest problem. And again, like, even for gaining weight, gaining unhealthy weight, like there's reasons behind that stuff. And it can lead back to your childhood. Like I always talk about in my videos and in my book, like sometimes you do those things as a defense mechanism, or your family feeds you all the time as like, as a healing thing, or as a reward system, or or a punishment. Like it's always something associated with food. And so you might associate certain things with food. So it's just a lot of times it can be mental, so you gotta be careful with what's going on, right? And so when you skip to get to an end delusion, just to finish off that point, is that the quality of the job itself is now compromised. And so it's not a quality look. You just got there in the speed of time that you wanted to get there because you took the steps to get there. And so that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if anything happens when you fall off, you're going to be starting at scratch versus starting at scratch with experience. You just starting straight at scratch. You know what I mean? Because you had to use all that extra stuff to even get you to scratch, and that's nothing. Like you would argue at that point, So the next thing that you think about is when you lift to get big, but you're skipping your key body parts. So I want to go back into that one from earlier, and you end up being disproportionate. A lot of times that shouldn't be your goal. If you're in a situation where like, yeah, you're trying to grow your legs, yeah, okay, well, you want your legs to be disproportionate, or you want to grow your shoulders, yeah, you want them to be disproportionate. But if you're doing something where it's like, you skipping stuff like on because you lazy, or you skipping stuff because you don't feel like it, or you skipping stuff, like I would challenge you to really consider if you call yourself a bodybuilder or not, if you're willing to overlook key needs that your body needs. You know what I mean? Like if you really think to sit there like, well, I'm just not going to do this, or I'm going to skip this, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to, or I never work my abs, or I just don't, like, you're not real. Like you don't really count. You know what I mean? Like, so stop, like, don't be in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be in here with the vibe. Like, this is the crew. Like the family knows, like we work everything. You know what I mean? Like you don't count. So like stay on the outside with them with the TikTok workouts. You know what I'm saying? But when you on the inside, like, nah, we do all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's a lifestyle, and it's a physique. It's a action figure look that you're going for, so that you can walk around with this baseline. Like anytime you walk anytime you walk on the beach, you always got to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Ready to take your clothes off. That's the goal. Not like, oh, I look good this summer because I was on this diet and I did this and I did that and I did that. You did all of that just to look this good for 2 weeks. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready right now. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? For no reason. So that's the goal. You need to be ready for no reason. Like, that's the key. And so if you build your foundation wrong, you'll never be ready. You'll always be getting ready. You know what I'm saying? Trying to catch up with something. All right. Now, the third thing that I want to get into is instead of trying to squeeze in a workout for yourself, like if you guys have a time issue with I don't have, like, I'm stressing out because I don't got time to really work out. I don't really have to. Like when you have that issue, instead of trying to squeeze in a workout, design a schedule of what you think your day should look like ideally, like how you really know your day should look like. And it's like, okay, if I, on a best case scenario, I would wake up at this time and do this and that, this and that. You know what I mean? Like design it like that in your head, and then consider where working out would actually fit in. And like be guilt-free about it. Don't be like, yeah, I got to work out at night, but then I wouldn't spend time with this, or then I wouldn't get a chance. Like, don't worry about it. Just think about like flat scratch. Like, where would it work? I could do it right here. I could do it right here. Boom. Okay, so now we know. Like now we don't got to think about the feeling that's associated with the thing. Like you don't have to make logic of it. It's just know that that's your time. I'm gonna give you an example. Last night, like I normally sometimes like I don't like missing the gym, yo. Like I really don't like missing the gym. I remember and I had to remember when I was in my bag when I was younger, I didn't care. Like I'd be in the gym at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some gyms stay open till like overnight. I'd be in at 1 a.m. just because I couldn't sleep. Like just because I was in like, like shit, y'all don't got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Like, so let me go to the gym. Or even when I did have other stuff to do, I still like to be in there just to, at whatever time of day. Like, let's say I missed it at my regular time that I go, I'll go back in there late just because I missed it earlier, and I'll just go in there because I was just, using the gym as my sanctuary, just somewhere to be. And also I like working out. I enjoyed it. And so as I got older, I was like, man, I missed it at my window. I normally go at this time, but I had to do this and I was over and the game came on. And so now I have to wait until tomorrow. And so that happens. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking about, oh, I just put it off into this. But I had to remind myself, all right, like, hey, man, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what time it is. Like, get your stuff together, get your bag, and go outside. Like, last night, I went to the gym, latest I ever went to the gym, like, recently. I went to the gym, like, 9:30 last night, surprisingly, other people were in there, too. But I never go to the gym that late. But I just didn't want to feel bad about missing it. And I ate all my food. I did what I need to do that day. I just was like, should I still go? It's 9:30. Should I still? And I was like, you know what? Like, let's just see what happens. Went in there, had a good workout. And so, just try and get past that. Even though the time might not be ideal, you can still do it. And if you can still do it anyway. You feel me? So keep that in mind. All right. And don't feel guilty about it. That's the other thing too. It's the guilt thing that's associated with the when I wasn't supposed to. And like, you got to know that, okay, when you feel like that, and you say, oh, I feel guilty for this, or I feel like I should have, and you start using words like should and thinking like should and I should would, like, remove yourself from that and just do what you know you can do. And if you know you're gonna feel like that later, go ahead and do that, Joe. Because don't even get to that feeling. If you don't want it to come up no more, like, don't even let it happen. Just go ahead and be on it. Like, just, go ahead and go to the gym now, or do your workout now, or do something that you can do. All you can do your best right now. If it's dropping down and doing 300 push-ups in the house and that was the best you could do, that's what you can do right now. Like, so get it out the way so that we can avoid the guilt. Like, you don't want to get to that feeling because it drains you later on for other things in life. Like, you don't want to have that association. Okay. Now the next thing is, a lot of times when we go to the gym, you might feel like bored in there or lonely or something like that, and so your mind might just be going adrift. Like, a lot of times we'll go into the gym and we'll just be going through the motions and kind of just like sitting there and just waiting for time to pass. Like, you don't really have much. You might not have a workout partner. You might not have a chick that you're working out with. You might not have nothing going on. Like, it's just dry. Like, your phone might be dry. And when you have those moments, it's very hard to go through the motions of having a quality workout. I know, right? I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there too. Like, I've been everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's very hard to have a quality workout when you can't really focus on, the workout at hand. You might have had something going on early in your life and you're thinking about that now. You got, somebody missing from your life, you think about that now. You got something going on, personal issues, think about that. And it can get boring, to really go through the motions. And it can definitely be lonely when you just standing there by yourself and you're not even talking to anybody else in the gym. I'm not saying, hey, you need to go talk to people. Nah, I don't talk to nobody neither. So I just know the feeling of what it is. But again, the feeling of what it is has nothing to do with the work. Like, the work still got to get done. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm trying to get this to y'all's head is because like the questions that I get for my questions for people to ask me, can you make a video on this? I'm just not. And see, for me, like, it's very hard for me to associate with that, because with I've been doing my research on my God body KB mode, and I'm learning about myself, and I know my personality type now, my Enneagram type, and I'm doing my research on my childhood traumas and stuff. So I'm healing. But I know that I don't do well with feeling. Like, my feelings, all now that I understand from my Enneagram, all turn into anger. And I just, whatever I'm feeling, F it. We're going to do it anyway. Like, let's go. Like, I don't care if I'm happy, let's go. If I'm mad, let's go. Like, it's always that, you know what I'm saying? So I can go channel my energy and still do the workout, and whatever I had going on, push it to the side. But remember, I was a trainer too. And so when people would come in, they would let the effect of the day drag on their workout. And it would take me having to give them the mental energy. No, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Lift yourself. And then they can do it. But you needed that though. And that's a problem, because like, you can't always get that from everybody. And you don't always want to rely on external sources to have to re-inspire, be like, let's go. Yeah, we can do it. You know what I mean? Because if you need that all the time as a person, then like, what are you really doing? You know, like what are you really doing? You gotta be all you always gotta be inspired. Like, come on, like you gotta listen to motivation all the time. Like sometimes you gotta think about it, like what is really happening in your life where you gotta need motivation all the time for something. Like for life, you need motivation for life. No, that means that something else is going on in your life that's distracting you. Because in here, this shouldn't even count. You know what I mean? Like workouts, you need motivation to take care of your own body. It's your own body. It's like saying you need to take care of your own kids. Like I need to be motivated to get up and take care of these kids. They young kids. What are you talking about? I can understand if they were somebody else's kids, you was going to work elementary school and I gotta take care of all these kids. I know it's gonna be crazy, but your own kids, no, go do it. So my thing is you got to do the work anyway, do it anyway. And it all leads back around to like going through the motions and doing it anyway. But I know you get bored, but just know that it's not just you. Like we all get bored. You know what I'm saying? Like we all get lonely. Like we could be in our feelings in the gym and stuff like that. But you just got to separate the two. And as soon as here's the thing that I do, like when I'm in there and I'm bored and lonely and I'm sitting there to myself in the gym and I'm just, what should I listen to? When I'm listening to music, but it really ain't doing nothing for me and I'm just kind of like in it. What I do is whenever I have that feeling, I immediately think about something else. Like I'm trying to train myself now to be conscious of. I feel like, let me think something else. You know what I'm saying? Or let me get back to it. Or let me not pick my phone up. Or let me not, like, I try to distract myself with the distraction that just distracted me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh shit, I just got distracted because I'm lonely. Wait, let me distract myself. Wait, let me come back. Let me do it. So you got to remember to do that all the time in your mind. But ultimately, just get back to the weights. You feel me? And then that'll keep you off the rocker, and then that way you got your next set done and you get your next set done. And sometimes, like, you don't have to be one of the, like for me, I've gotten to the point where now I don't care so much. So I don't even jot down notes and remember what number I'm on, what set I'm on. Like I work out for a feeling. And you guys might get to that one day where it's just like, you know what number am I on again? I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me see. Do I like this? No, not yet. Wait a bit. Okay. Oh yeah, now it's hurting. Let me get in there now. And I might be at 22, you know what I'm saying? 17 now. And I was only supposed to be 15. I might be at 25 and I was only supposed to do, 20 or something like that. So the thing is, like, once you just start working out for the vibe and you're not thinking about, oh, let me be a stickler and everything, it's more enjoyable anyway. So you might not have even tapped into that side of exercise yet because you're so distracted with all the things of life that are, keeping you occupied mentally and physically. Okay, I hope y'all okay with me. Hey, listen, I'm in here tonight. I told you we doubling up tonight, so I'm already 23 minutes in. But you know what I mean. I still got some subscribers in here, so hopefully y'all are going, man. Hopefully y'all can be going. But all right, so now number 4, because I'm only at 4 right now. We got some time. I don't have nothing to do tonight, so I'm gonna make it up to you. And I probably should have broke this down into 2 videos, but I realize now that like sometimes y'all listen to me while you're working out, and you don't really need to see me anyway. So we'll take this one as a podcast. You feel me? Like we'll treat it like that. All right. So number 5. Don't use working out as a as a as a plan to attract the opposite sex, right? And this is what I'm saying. Like I know it's weird, right? Because people will be like, and I don't want to get into like relationship stuff because I'm not really, no relationship king, but I know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you that. And you don't want to use working out as like a goal so that, oh, I can get girls. Like I want to work out so I can look like this so that women will find me more. Like it's not about that. You know what I mean? Like it's really not about that. Like and you won't enjoy the process. It's a shallow way of doing things. Like it's not for that. Like I think for me, like my personal reasons for wanting to work out stem from me being a little kid and certain things I had around me and my toys and all the other stuff. It ended up being like more of a lifestyle. And like some of my friends, maybe they grew up playing sports and then they didn't play sports no more, so then they jumped into working out and like a transition. Or maybe somebody hadn't worked out before but they used to run, or maybe they had some type of activity. It's more of an activity. But when you treat it as like it's not an activity, I'm going in there just so I can get chicks, you're ruining the whole mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what happens when you're not in that I'm getting chicks mode? Or what happens when you bag one and y'all transition out of the gym, now you're not working out as much and you fall off, and now you got to come back in there and start from scratch because you had your body built on, I'm just trying to have something to look good so that I can attract women. versus building something with a stable foundation so that I look good at all times. You know what I'm saying? So like you racing, like you sprinting. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to win the long term, like you sprinting. And so instead of trying to win the marathon, you need to use, and this is my recommendation for that, use your time for in the gym for self-development. I know people are like, oh, we need to do this. Nah, use your gym time for self-development. Like you can kill two birds with one stone, right? So look, you're supposed to, the rules for getting better as a person, are you got to read books and you got to listen to podcasts, and you got to do all this other stuff. Instead of listening to music when you're in there, don't listen to music when you're in the gym unless you really are just vibing, you don't care, or you did all your, your research and development for the day. And don't start reading things on your phone while you're in it either. If you know that at some point you haven't read a book all year long, you can go on YouTube and find free audiobooks of books that you probably wanted to read anyway, and start listening to those while you're in there. That way, instead, you can be knocking out the thing you knew you're supposed to do and getting better as a person with the thing that you're doing physically, and you can now concentrate because you're focused on trying to actually listen and learn something. And that's going to be helpful for you versus just trying to listen to the beat and and now you got out of there and you back to scratch. Yeah, I heard new, whatever, but it's like, okay, I listened to that album one day and I'll do that on one day, but then the next time I'll go in there and I'm like, well, I don't need to really listen to that album today because I knew what that was all about. Now I'll go focus on this because this is going to, help with what I was just thinking about earlier. So use that time, use your time wisely. Like you can't, and don't feel guilty about it. Like, don't think that you can't be smart. I feel like some people just don't want to be smart. Like y'all don't want to get into your enlightenment status. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to get into learning more things, and like you can. And so use that time wisely. Like, so you in the gym, like don't worry about it. Like, don't think about who else is in it, what the chicks is like, and what you gonna get and all this stuff. Like I know, like that's important. Like I get it too. You know what I'm saying? But really, just focus on what you can learn. You know what I mean? So if you can learn those things right then, use it. And what I was saying earlier about what I've been learning is, again, if y'all get a chance, take one of those, take your Myers-Briggs personality test, and also find the test to take your Enneagram type, because those two things are important as the makeup of what kind of male or female you are. Like what kind of career you're gonna need, what kind of lifestyle you're gonna like to live, what kind of mate you want, like what kind of woman you really need versus or what kind of man you really need. So we out here just frivolously dating and trying to see anyway, oh, she looks good, I'm gonna talk to her. Oh, he looks good, maybe I'll say something. None of that stuff even matters. Like, cause y'all not even gonna match up. like you guys won't even click anyway unless you know what your tests are like. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, and if you don't want if you want to get to that step to be able to meet somebody and say, let's see if we're even compatible, like you got to develop the healthier version of yourself. And so even for me, like what I'm learning now is that the unhealthy signs of myself show up in anger and show up in aggression. And I'm always like, and I can be like that, to whoever I'm with. And you be like, oh shoot, this dude, you just snapped on me. But maybe maybe my feelings was hurt, but I still gave you, or maybe I was confused about something else, but I still gave you that, you know what I'm saying? And so I got to learn to wait a minute, KB, you got to dial that down. You can't be getting hard on everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can't just turn up on everybody, because if you do that, then they might look at you and see you differently. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, you got to remember how you're affecting the people around you. And I'm learning, I've done a lot of wild turn up and, go from 0 to a zillion, you know what I mean? Like I can do it, but it's in me. And it's not going to be pressed. No, listen, no, we're not turning it off. I just got to know that if I'm going to do it, this is what it's going to be used for. You know what I'm saying? Versus let me not do it because I don't want y'all to get the wrong impression right now. But when I do use it, I want you to have that impression because that's what I came for. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, like you got to just kind of understand yourself and understand that balance. But you're not going to understand yourself until you even do the research on yourself. And this stuff that I'm learning now are things that I've gone on YouTube, and when I'm working out, I listen to this self-development stuff, how to become a better this, how to do this, how to have an abundance mindset. I realized the other day that I got a low self-worth in certain areas of my life, but certain other areas of my life I got an abundance mindset. Like you can't, like you're not even close to here, but there's other things where I'm like, I feel so insecure about. And I didn't even know that, you know what I'm saying? So, and it comes off in certain ways, like in certain areas of my life. And so not that it comes off in like my regular everyday activity, but it comes off in the my choice in the people that I keep around me, because I might allow something that I really at my gut don't want to allow around me, but I'm trying to do it for the greater good, but it's really like a struggle. And I don't know what that is, but now I'm kind of like, oh, I know what that was. Like that was a red flag that I was ignoring. That's why I felt it in my stomach. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't have known these things had I not listened to, certain podcasts. But I only listen to them when I'm in the gym. Not only, but if I'm saying for you guys, if you're going to use the gym and want to be in it for a reason, use it for a reason to be learning about yourself and working out on yourself at the same time. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps with something. Hopefully you understand that. And then let's see. Got my notebook today here. My notes. Dr. Brown's class. I should put my glasses on. I'm gonna give me some glasses that got no lenses in them, so that when I turn my ring light on, you don't see the ring light. And you're gonna be like, wait a minute, does this dude really have lenses in his glasses? So, all right, now we're gonna go in a little bit more into that whole using it to attract women and stuff like that. Now, to spin off of that, I know that a lot of people use it when they're single, and they use it to when they break up, to heal, so they're back in the gym. Like, okay, well, I just broke up with somebody, go back to the gym. All right, here's the pros and the cons to that, right? Working out after a breakup. So the pros and the cons to that is that it works out after a breakup. So then when y'all together, or when you get with somebody, the cycle is, we fell off together, and now I got to go get myself back up together. Like you really fell off, and now you're coming back to start from scratch. Now, yes, that's the right thing to do, but listen, only do that one time. You know what I'm saying? Like you get one of those in life, and no, don't do it again. Don't. If you with somebody, and you need to be working out while you still with that person. Like whatever you did when you met them, keep that same lifestyle. Like don't fall off from it and then have to get back to it, and then fall off and then get back to it. Because I see it all the time. Like the gym is dead right now. Like it'll be dead, and then pardon me, no, it's busy, and then it'll be dead. Like in the wintertime, everybody be going, everybody's caked up and stuff, and then in the summertime, everybody's getting ready to be in there, and then it's gonna be dead. Really, like when the summer hits, nobody's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be super empty. And then in the wintertime, again, you're gonna start seeing people coming back in and coming back off of the breakout from the summer breakups and stuff like that, or from the spring breakup. Like it's a cycle of what you can watch. And I've seen it for years from just working at LA Fitness. You know what I mean? So like, you know what it is. And they'll tell you, like, yo, what happened? I thought you was with so-and-so. Man, she was, last summer I had to, we broke up, and now I'm back. And it's like, dang. And I'm in there every day. What? Tell me about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Getting bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, I might be going through the same stuff, but I'm still in there getting big. You feel what I'm saying? So like, you got to keep that in mind. Like, don't fall off because of the external things. Like, don't allow, again, which leads to my original post about stressing out. Don't allow that stuff to affect your workout. You got to separate it from what's real and what's not, what physically you can actually control. You see what I'm saying? So you can't control that stuff. Maybe you could have control of that stuff, but we're not going to think about that when we're in here. Like when we're in here, it's all work, you know what I mean? And self-development. And so, put that stuff in the back burner, okay? And only let it happen one time. Again, please, please, I'm telling you, don't let it happen twice. Like, don't get into a cycle of that drug. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a race. That's a rat race. Like, and there's no way of winning that. If you're watching this, my guy, like, or lady, like, please don't do that. Don't fall off and get back in. And you know what? I wish would be it would be wonderful if people in the gym actually talk to each other, because you're probably more like-minded than you think. But everybody being there with their headphones on and doing their own self-development. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, man, it would be wonderful if we could actually talk, because we probably are all going through the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in there at the same time, y'all might all have the same type of job. Like if you're in there at a, if you see certain people doing some similar type of workouts, y'all might be getting ready for the same show or trying to do the same thing. So it's like, but it's hard to just be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Or chop it up with somebody, because we all in our own zone. So in the ideal world. All right, now number let's tie it around to fix your real world. Y'all okay with staying in here? I got 11 people in here now. Hopefully y'all okay with me going overboard, because I'm pushing it right now, but I don't got nothing to do. So fix your real world, okay? Fix what's going on in your real life. And what I mean by fixing your real world is that that you have to run towards your problems instead of running away from them. Like in the past, for myself, like I had real problems, and instead of me facing my problems, I went to the gym instead and just was like, I'm gonna just work out because I can't figure this junk out in real life. Like I'm going through it with her, I'm going through it with this, I'm going through it with that. Like, so I'm gonna just work out. You know what I mean? Like, at least I can fix this. Like I can control it. Like it's cool, but ultimately, like you got to figure out your real life anyway. So the faster you can get to that, the more you can actually enjoy your workouts. Because I didn't really enjoy my workouts. Like I didn't have a good time there. Like all my motivation was anger, like all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I looked my best, I was probably at my lowest. Like I was probably at my worst in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, like whatever in my life. But I looked my best because I was putting all in. Like I was like, well, I don't like nothing's working. But at least when I go to the gym, this is working. You know what I'm saying? So that happens sometimes. And then when it happens, yeah, you can use it as motivation, but it's only good for taking pictures. And then when you start getting back to doing the real work, then it's like, well, wait a minute, I still got to address these things, right? And so run towards your problems and figure them out as fast as you can. Work on, of course, your self-awareness and understanding the people in different personality types. Like I was saying, like once you start doing that and learning about those things, you'll be a lot more forgiving and a lot less open to continuing certain things with certain people. That way you don't have to go through such of a navigation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if, like, you could just be yourself. Like, now that you know there's women who are feminine and women who are masculine, and you know what masculine women talk like, and you know what feminine talk like, okay, next time she says one of these red flags, okay, all right, listen, nice to meet you. Or, put her in that category. Like, I know what I'm going to do with you, but you're not going to be over here with the ones I need. But when you find one of these, then you'll, you check the box off on the one you like. And you're like, you know what? This is what I'm more associated with. So, yeah, let's talk. You see what I'm saying? But you had two chicks, but you didn't really know which one to go. And you kind of just, like, leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? See what's up. If this don't work out, okay, now you go back to her, but you know what it's going to be. Like, it's going to be a headache and it's going to be whatever. Or maybe you need that. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got to know people so that you know what it is that you need. But you're not going to know people unless you're doing your research. And again, you got to do your research. And you can learn this stuff by looking on YouTube and learning personality types and learning that type of stuff by becoming more self-aware and understanding different people and different personality types. Okay. Now learn. Oh no, excuse me. Well, I think I kind of said that. I was just gonna say learn with the wrong signs. I mean, with the types of learn what the signs of the wrong types of people are. So, if there are some red flags, again, like what I've gone through in the past, I've ignored my red flags, and anytime I've ignored my red flags, it's never worked out for me. But whenever a red flag pops up for me now, or even in the past, you know what I'm saying, when it popped up for me, it just really made my stomach hurt, and I just didn't really know what that was. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that was trust your gut instinct, a gut feeling. Like I never knew what that was, but that's God talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like had I known He was telling me, hey, I would have never, you know what I'm saying? So, but now that I know that stuff, I'm like, oh shoot, like now I'm 34, but I got to move forward with just knowing these things now, So like, had I known this stuff when I was 24, man, my life would have been different by now. But hindsight is 2020. I can still move forward faster now that I've cleared off that nonsense and I know better. Because imagine, what if I would have learned it when I was 44 or 54 or 64, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, oh, I gotta start from scratch now. Like that's terrible. So my thing is do as much digging as you can now while you can, like, and figure yourself out, because that way we'll save ourselves in the long term of like, oh, I don't know why, how come I'm not feeling good today? How come I'm motivated? How come I'm not? Well, this is why, because your life is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like you need a whole bunch of stuff. Like drinking more water isn't the answer. Going on a keto diet, doing all this little miscellaneous stuff, that's not the answer. Like the answer is up here. Like how come you can't get this right first, and then you can get into it? Y'all listen to that stuff. It's like you got to be disciplined. You got to have a mindset. You got to have like you don't even need that. Like yeah, you need it, but if you need that, question yourself. Like, why you gotta have somebody tell you that you need discipline when you know you need discipline? And he gotta tell you why you doing it. I need discipline. Yeah. Let me do it while you tell me. Tell me again. I need what? No. Like, you don't need that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, you need it, but you don't need him to be telling you that. Like, yeah, watch it one time and then get back to business. Like, you can't listen to that while you at work. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that stuff while you're doing other things. While you cooking, yeah, you need discipline to cook this food up. You need discipline. No. So don't use it like that. You know what I mean? Like you'll mess yourself up. You don't want to get into the habit of needing external things to help you just to use, to work your body out. Like clear your life out. You know what I'm saying? So start listening to positive things. Start watching positive stuff. Like don't listen to wild music when you're working out. Like if it's too wild, like if it puts you in a bad energy, like don't listen to that stuff. And you know, I listened to that Lamar album the other day. Like when it first came out, I worked out to it. All I needed was one time. After that, I was like, I appreciate the artistry, but right now, in this God body mode I'm in right now, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about your drama. I don't want to hear about your trauma. I don't want to hear what happened to you when you was a little kid. I don't want to hear about none of that stuff. Like I'm working on my own. Put me in that to, what I'm saying, put me in that mindset. Like if I'm gonna listen to something, I'm gonna listen to something that I got going on in my life that's gonna motivate me, that's gonna keep me grinding, put me in the zone where I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna listen to certain songs in my playlist, but I'm not listening to that because that right there is definitely going to bring me down. And same thing with like, if you listening to you working out to songs after a breakup, like that's going to keep you in a depressed mindset when you're doing your exercises, like in the gym. So now you took that stuff out of there, but you in here now listening to Drake. He over here singing to you and stuff like that. And now you feel like, oh, well, I want to do my workout, but this song reminds me of the time that she and I was at this, and this was her favorite. And now you back thinking about, certain things again. So it's like, you can't even, it's so much of a mess, you know what I mean? That you kind of just have to like focus on yourself. And once you kind of get clear from what the things are that's going on in your life, then the music's not going to affect you like that. Like it's not going to be too much of things that pull you away. It'll be more just, what's right here, right now. And I heard that song, yeah, it did this to me, but it didn't, what I'm saying? It ain't really affect me. And I'm sure I'll get back to that Kendrick album later once I kind of assess and finish with this God body KB cycle that I'm going through right now, or the self-development thing. Once I get out of this, I can go back and listen to him like, oh, word, that's what he said. Yeah, that's crazy, X, Y, Z. But right now it's like, no, that's too toxic for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get the point, but it's too toxic right now. So, I wouldn't want to deal with that. Here's another thing you can do is finish some projects in your real life to distract you as well. Like now we're getting into positive distractions, right? Do some things in your life that was on your list, but you can actually control and get to them. Like do them. Prime example, right? Y'all know I got a Mustang. I got a 89 Mustang, and I just put a chip in it. But when I put the chip in it, the alternator battery started being low. And so now the issue is if I drive it, yeah, I can get the power, but I can't really change the chip settings because my alternator is going to drain, and my alternator drains my battery. And if your alternator is too low, what happens is your battery's not going to charge while you're driving, and so your battery's going to keep on dying. And so when you got old cars like that, you got to like cut this. You got to take the battery cables off every time, or else it'll drain because it'll be like, I don't know if y'all know about cars, but it'll be like something like a light, like some maybe a small circuit somewhere that's still draining your battery somewhere. So you always got to take your cables off before you park your car, or different things like that. If you don't drive it every day, or else you wake up and you go downstairs, drive your car, and your battery's dead, and it's been dead from something you didn't even know. Like what was a light on or something like that? And it was just like one of them old wires you couldn't find. So anyway, the alternator needs to be bigger. And so I have to physically put a bigger alternator in my car, you know what I'm saying, in the Mustang. Long story short. Now, the problem is that when I found that out, I found out that you had to also fabricate a bracket. And when you got to fabricate a bracket, I mean, somebody got to either come over with one of them saws or drills or something like that and cut it up, to fit the new alternator inside of there. And it was like, the alternator is going to be like $120 plus the fabrication. Then what if I had to call somebody to come over here to do it for me? And then this and that. And I was like, you know what? Let me chill out. And that was on my list of things to do. Like, I just want to drive my Mustang. I just want it working all at once. Because once you fix one thing, then something else goes wrong. Right? So I just want to drive it. Right? So I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, yo, what can I do? Like, what can I do about my Mustang that's gonna make me feel better so I can get back in my, in my bag? Because that's something I like to do that I just haven't been able to do lately. And I was like, you know what? Is there any holiday coming up or something like that? And I was like, oh wait, Memorial Day is coming up. And then I realized that I did some more research and found out that you can find the alternator kit with the bracket. And so now I'm like, oh, you know what? I can get the kit in the bracket, and I don't even gotta I don't even have to take off, or I don't have to fabricate nothing. I could just take the whole thing off, and I can do that. Like that's easy. If I could just break it off, and I don't have to get a whole new bracket. I mean, I don't have to mess with my current bracket. I'll get a whole new bracket, the whole kit, whatever. It was $300 now, but I know Memorial Day is gonna be on sale. So I said, you know what? Okay, cool. Save that. That's gonna be another project. I'm gonna do it myself. Now I don't have to have somebody come over here, and it'll keep me occupied with something to do. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, oh, woe is me, and this and that and that. But really, it was one of those things that I know is gonna keep me happy and make me happy. So I need to go towards it. Quote, run towards your problems. You know what I'm saying? So it was a problem. I was kind of like, well, it's not working. Let me be sad about it for a couple of days, and it's just sitting there. And but really, if I run towards my problems, it's like, well, okay. Option one was fabricating this bracket, right? Option two is what? Option two is now I found one that comes with the bracket. Okay, cool. I should have done that the first day. Maybe I wouldn't have been so mad. But I was stuck on the whole thing. I need an alternator thing. You know what I'm saying? So fix your problems, and especially if you can't fix them. Learn to trust your gut. If you learn anything from me, you know what I'm saying? If y'all anything like me, like your stomach tells you something, or you talking to somebody and you talking to a chick and she say something that's kind of like, ugh, like, and you gotta still go over it, or you gotta talk to somebody, but you feel, like you can feel a negative energy about it, and you feel it in your stomach. If it touches your stomach, trust it. You know, like it ain't right. You feel me? Like if it touches your stomach, something ain't right. Anything else, like if you gotta overthinking and stuff like that, but trying to overthink your stomach, I've learned is the wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my gift to y'all. Like if I ever stop making YouTube videos and stuff like that, and you come back to this one, remember that I told you that. You feel me? Like that's very important. And then as well as with self-development comes learning to actually be yourself. And so if you learn to just be yourself and you know what it is that you like to do, how you are as a person, how you see yourself living, like you can start to love yourself, and you can start to appreciate being alone for a minute. It'll be a lot easier to think about what the next steps of your life will be. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what it's like being in your own self. I know a lot of people like, yo, get to your money and this, and that, it's not. It's not about just getting to your money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not about grinding, because like even if you like, depending on your reason for getting money and the way you want to see yourself, like I want to get money type person, but not for the sole purpose of like flossing on y'all. Like I'm not about to be out here in a Lambo and hey, if you want to buy my course and learn how to get this money, then you should do this. No, like I got certain stuff I want to do. Like I want to drive a Dodge Viper, and I want to drive a Ford GT. Like I just want to do that. I'm not gonna get nothing else probably like in a Raptor and in my Mustang, but I'm gonna probably race cars. Like I'm gonna probably have some money, and what I'm gonna do with it is spend it all on racing cars probably, because I like doing that type of stuff, or going to events, like sitting courtside at basketball games, or like going to see my friends and family in Florida and Georgia and Jersey. Like I might do that with my money. I'm probably not gonna be sitting here on yachts and like, puffing cigars and kicking it and being, Rico Suave and that like that. You feel me? So it just depends on what your motivation is. But work on yourself, but don't work on yourself for the sole purpose of, oh, it's just that. You know what I mean? Learn to be yourself. Work on yourself to learn to be yourself. And then you'll also learn what type of people need to be around you, And this is what's called finding peace. Right? This is what's called finding peace. Now, y'all talking to God Body KB right now. I might make another channel for just my God Body talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in my element today. But once you find peace within yourself, then you'll know the signs of the right people who need to be in your circle anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I say this because when we're talking about people being in our right circle, I'm not just talking about, your girl or your, whoever. It might be your mom. It might be your friends. Certain people might talk to you a certain way that triggers you. Like you might have, your life, like just anything, your boss, the people you work with, some of that stuff might not sit well with you. And so because it don't sit well with you in your real life, when you come into the gym, you can't have a good workout. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Like your workout is a result of what happened today. You know what I'm saying? Because you carry all that stuff and you can't leave it. Sometimes you got to handle those situations and peel them off, because now you want to go into the gym with peace, not go into the gym with like, I was stressed out today, I'm gonna go work it off. No, no. Yes, I mean, yeah, that's better than smacking somebody and getting locked up. Yes, it's better than that. But the goal wasn't to come in there and work it off and work out all this anger. No. Why are you angry? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was you mad about? Work on those things. Peel those things back first, or simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? Like, do them while you're doing this. Peel them back. Don't not address them and only come to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So, self-development, and then find that peace. And then my ninth point is once you find the stress and you peel back the layers and you're in a manageable situation, just worry about controlling the things that you can control, and don't worry about controlling what you can't control. You know what I mean? Like, let that stuff go. You feel me? Like, let that stuff be out of your hands, and don't worry about controlling, external things, and like only focus on controlling that weight that's right in front of you. You feel me? Like, because your shoulders need it. Like your shoulders need it more than they do right now. So everybody outside the gym right now, yeah. But your shoulders need it. And so, see, what I'm teaching you right now, I'm teaching you the discipline, the mindset. But it's not just get discipline, get mindset. No, these are tangible steps that you're supposed to do. Like I told y'all earlier, don't think about it no more. Change your thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a step. Like, that's a gem to take with you. That's a jewel that's a nugget to use when this happens, because it's gonna happen. You feel what I'm saying? Like, being in the gym and not listening to the wrong types of music and putting yourself in a wrong mindset, that's a gem. Like, that is a jewel. Do not drop that. You feel me? Like, use that for real, for real. Like, taking those tests on your personality type and your Enneagram, use it. Listen to me. You feel me? Because, like, I'm only gonna make you better as a person. I'm only telling you stuff that's gonna make you skip all the nonsense. I'm gonna go there too. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like I made it this way and I got this far because I did this. No, we doing this job together now, champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in this together, yo. Like, so do it with me. You feel me? Like, do this stuff actively. And you'll get better, right? And you'll have more of a peace of mind. Just focus on the things that you can control. And don't worry. I mean, you can worry about the things that you can't control, but if you can control it, do it. And that'll kind of keep you from worrying about the other stuff anyway. Just get to that stuff when you can. But if you can't control it, that junk's out of your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to talk to my mother, and she was like, well, what if, and what happens when, and then what if, and I was like, hey, oh, hey. Like, listen, this is what I did today. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that might happen and could, should, would happen. Like, don't put that pressure on me. Like, don't make me have to think about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that anxiety no more. Like, keep that stuff away from me. Let me worry about what I could do. And I did my best. And when I do my best, I can sleep peacefully at night. If I didn't do my best, then okay, I'll worry about all this other stuff. But really, what I'm worried about is if I did my best or not. So let me just do my best. You feel me? Like, keep it like that, and then you can always move forward. Okay? And then my final thought is, once you kind of know yourself and now you figured yourself out, you can find a workout style and system that fits into the time of day of your lifestyle. And it'll fit into everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you figure yourself out, you'll know what you like. I just learned I really like riding my bike. You know what I'm saying? And I like going for long walks. You feel me? Not necessarily a long walk aimlessly, but I like walking to the store. And it's probably because of where I was raised. Like, I was raised in New Jersey, and I walked everywhere. Like, I walked to school all these years. And then once I moved to Georgia, I had to drive everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm like, dang, like, man, I really don't want to drive. Like, gas. You know what I mean? It's like, what do I want to drive for? Like, so now I'm going back to the things I used to do, ride my bike and walk. And I'm like, you know what? This feels like it used to feel when I was in elementary school or middle school. You know what I mean? So it brings back a enlightened feeling. And then that's when I was thinking, like, oh, you know what? I want to ride my Mustang because I like driving my Mustang. Like, let me fix that. Let me do this. Let me God body. Like, y'all need to get into y'all's God body too. You feel me? Like, get into it so that you can start feeling good. And then the workouts don't seem so much like a chore to you. You feel what I'm saying? It's more like oh, you know what? Let me go to the gym because I need to do this today. Let me read my book because let me journal today because I need to do this. Like, let me do all the right things because now I've done the one thing that I can control, and that's going to turn into a snowball of doing a whole bunch of stuff that you can control too. You know what I mean? And like, a lot of stuff you can actually get done. So you'll be surprised. So really, like, the final thought of all of this was, I know I get a lot of questions on, I feel like this and I feel like that, but hopefully I covered some of the topics that you could be going through in your mind when you're in the gym, because those things are what are the real issue. And it's not just like trying to go get motivated or trying to do these things, or like, you gotta, it's all up here, yo. Like, and I hate to tell you that, but remember, I gave you the tools. So you start where you start, do your research, take y'all's tests, and then start researching about relationships. If that's the issue for you, learn about relationships, learn what type of women or what type of women, women learn what type of guys or what type of guys. Stop choosing the wrong people. Once you know, like now that you know the research, don't choose the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing like when we work out. Like we do an exercise and we know, okay, this don't work. Like I ain't like that exercise because it don't work for me. Like once you know that for other stuff too. You'll choose the right people, you'll choose the right line of work, you'll choose the right music, the right conversations, the right movies. Like you'll start to identify things that associate with you better, and you'll find a workout style that associates with you, because maybe you'll have a workout style where you like riding your bike first, or you might like walking to the gym instead, or you might like going for a long walk at night or going for a run at night. I seen a couple the other day. It was a couple, they were just running together at night with a dog. I was like, you know what, I wonder if I can see myself running outside late at night with a chick with a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got to consider, like, I wonder if I could, I wonder what that would feel like. I have never done that before, so I just wouldn't know what that would feel like. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where I wouldn't have seen it, but I was outside on my bike. You feel me? At nighttime, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm outside on my bike. I wonder what it would be like if me and chick was outside on our bikes together, going to the gym at night and this and that. Like, how would I like that? Like all those things, and then you got to consider how that works in your lifestyle. So once you do that, then you can get a better vision and you won't be so stressed out. You'll be more hopeful. You feel me? But clean your life, peel back those layers. This is the peeling season. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the get everything season. This is the peel back and find out the reasons why you be acting like that. And then start building on top of it once you realize what your problems were. But you can't fix your problems if you don't identify them. And that's the same thing like with your body. Like a lot of times, like you don't know what you're doing. You need to identify your problems. I always tell y'all, look in the mirror, take pictures, track your progress. Like, have some, wait for other people to tell you. Same thing with this. People always tell me, are you so aggressive? Why are you always mad? Why you look like this? Why you look like that? How come you this? You need this type of person. You need this. Okay, cool. Let me do some research and find out why y'all are saying this stuff. You said I needed what? What do I need? What do I do? Okay, cool. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start researching this while I'm working out. I'm doing certain things and learning about myself. And I come back and I'm saying, you know what? Y'all are right. The reason why I act like that is because this and that and this and that and this and that. And now I'm learning something new, but I'm in a self-development state, altogether, where I'm getting better than everything. And then you'll start to figure out maybe you was doing something wrong. Maybe you feel better when you eat certain foods. Maybe you do this when you do that. Like it'll come to you, you know what I mean? But just you gotta you know what I'm saying? Like keep in mind, stress is gonna be here, but you can't associate it and let it stop you from lifting the weights or doing the work, because you don't want to look like I live a stressed out life. Like, yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm stressed out and I look stressed out. Like, oh man, you look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to live like that. You can still look like something and still be going through your life stresses. And maybe in order to have fun in the gym, get rid of some of that stressed out stuff, and then be able to enjoy yourself. All right. So I talked for a long time tonight, and I didn't take no word. I'm gonna read some of these comments. I appreciate you guys for sticking it out with me today. It's a long time, right? Hold on. Henry Saint, he said, you needed this video? I appreciate it, man. T.H. Barron, what if they're comfortable or happy being chubby or overweight? If anybody is happy, let that person be happy with anything in their life. And that's what I mean about knowing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're happy with being overweight, you live a lifestyle where, like, you like to go out to eat. You live a lifestyle where everybody out there is doing, we're enjoying ourselves. And I want to be able to order anything on the menu and have a variety. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to, like Jehovah didn't put everybody on this planet to be a beautiful specimen. Sometimes people die from car accidents. Sometimes people die from, cancer. Sometimes babies die. Sometimes, like, you write your own ticket. You know what I'm saying? So while you're here, if you're happy, be happy with whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you like to eat and if it kills you one day, hey, listen, you died eating. You know what I'm saying? But you die happy though. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna bury you with a plate. And I'm gonna take a plate to go. You feel me? But at the same time, like, that's what you want. You know what I mean? So if that's what that person should not expect anything other than that. But if that person is not delirious, they're gonna get the results of what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? And be able to just own that. Like, you know what? Bump it. I got friends who lift weights. I mean, sometimes they get into like powerlifting. Like people who like to eat, or they chubby, overweight, they'll just maybe do strongman or something like that instead, or just do like deadlift competitions. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. You know what I mean? But that's not our place to change somebody. Like, you got to do that yourself. All right, Mr. Urban World, what do you think of those who push sea moss, black seed oil, etc. over vitamins? Well, the thing about that is that you have to find out what you're deficient in first, and then you take the things that you need. Like, so the other day I found, like, my father, he hit me up and he was letting me know about zinc. You know what I mean? Like for your prostate and stuff like that. And he's put me on some zinc issues. Like, and I watched this video on zinc, and the guy was talking about how zinc is associated with your testosterone and all this other stuff and whatnot. But if you don't know like where you're getting at already, or where you're deficient at in certain things, you might over something yourself, like over give yourself certain things. And like for me, maybe these oils work. Maybe certain vitamins do work, but if you don't know that you specifically need it for something, I'm not going to say you need to take this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been that guy. And that's why, like, a lot of times supplement companies will reach out to me and they're like, I want you to sponsor this and promote this. Like, it's going to get to the point where unless they send me something that makes sense, and if I make enough money with trading my Forex and doing my crypto and stuff like that, if I make enough money, I'm going to make my own supplement. And I'm like, you know what, bumper, I'm going to make something real. I'm going to be irritated if nobody buys it, because I'm going to put all my time and effort into designing it. And if people don't want to get it, I'm going to be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of torn, like, do I really want to give y'all something that might really work? You know what I'm saying? Like a combo, but it would have to be like a kit. You know what I mean? It had to be like, like one of those animal pack things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would do that. Like, I would sell a box of a kit of, here's your monthly kit. You need to take these, this, and that. And you need to take this, that, this, and that. Because sometimes you got to take combinations like magnesium, aspartate, you got to go with a vitamin D. And so if you don't know that stuff, you might just be, I'm just this, and I might need this and this and that. But it won't activate unless you have this, or this won't activate unless you got, what's that, like black pepper or something like that. So certain things need to activate together. So I don't really know. Like I would have to do the research and find out why we needed it anyway. So hopefully that answers your question. Really, I don't know. All right, Bluto, you said, is there any real way to track how good a workout is? I get a pump and a sweat after a workout, but I'm skeptical if I'm actually burning as many calories as my Apple Watch says. I hate to be doing these workouts for nothing. Well, if you work out and you go for it, the only way to track a good workout and a good workout program is to take pictures. Now, the gauge is to, okay, I feel sore. Like I worked out last night and my back is sore. So I know I tore my muscles down, because the sign of tearing muscles down is that they get sore and you feel it. So that's like 1 + 1 is 2. That ain't no, was it a good workout or not? Nah, it must have been because I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that, you got to worry about either chasing that and trying to figure out how come you don't have that, or secondly, taking pictures of yourself, because maybe you might be one of those people where, you might not get sore like other people do easily. And so you have to track your progress by visually seeing it, like taking a picture Monday this week, and then taking a picture next Monday, taking a picture next month. And remember, there's no problem with that, because if you were to get a coach anyway, they're going to make you take pictures and send them in. So that's what they do. Like they'll make you take a picture and send it in every week. And you got to take it like first thing in the morning. You feel me? So take a picture first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. See, like, use the bathroom. Number 2, take a picture, see how you look, and then the following week, same thing. Following week, the same thing, and that'll kind of tell you if you're making progress or not. Because if you don't look different after 2-3 months, then no, you wasn't making progress. You know what I mean? But at least you saw it for yourself. Like you don't have to worry about if you did or not. Now you wasn't making progress because you took the pictures yourself, right? So, all right, Jerry said, you said your alternator was messed up too. After parts and labor, oil change ended up dropping $6.35. That's how it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? You end up doing that. Robert, you said people want to drive an old car but don't want to do no old car work on it. That's right. That's what ends up happening. Like, you got to do that work, man. All that little frivolous stuff comes with it. But it is frustrating though, because as soon as you fix something else goes bad. So it's like, man, I just spent all this time outside. When I put that chip in there, I had to glue it, and they sent you, like, you had to sit there and scrape it down with all this with a Brillo pad, scrape the old computer down with a Brillo pad, and go inside your car and remove the computer and all these different types of tools. And they took all of this stuff just to get the old one out, because they got to use like different drill bits and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think I had to get like a T9 drill bit from somewhere. It was just all this extra stuff just to do to like open up the box that has a computer chip in it anyway, and then you had to, like all of that took a step. And then once I did it, it was like, okay, did all that. That took me a couple hours. Oh, now the alternator's messed up. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't even do nothing with them old cars, yo. You always run into something. You feel me? Anyway, appreciate y'all for coming in here. Bluto, we need that God Body channel. Hey, we might get that God Body channel, man. We might really get it. And AJ3K, I appreciate you. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, this was a long video. I don't want to do this all the time, you know, but this was a nice one to kind of sum up everything and get everybody in here to, you know, maybe get your feelings in order and get ready for the summer, you know, so that we kind of making progress instead of worried about how come we not, how come, you know what I mean? Like, and what's wild is like, I wish I had more topics to talk about that were, you know, more like surface level, but it's getting to the point, like even when you try to make YouTube videos, like what a lot of people do is they'll see what other people are making videos about, like, oh, let me talk about that. Oh, let me talk about this too. But when I've been learning for myself is like, that's not sustainable. You feel me? And I really don't be caring about what everybody else is doing. I really don't. Like, I really don't. I'm not saying I don't like people, but I don't, you know, like that's their thing. You feel me? Like if they doing that over there, let them do that over there. I'm not gonna talk about nobody like that because I don't want to mix that. And I also don't like piggybacking on conversations because it feels like I'm responding. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is what I respond to about this thing. And then a lot of times that stuff is just like, it's cheesy and irrelevant. Like, how many times should you do that? How many days, how many calories do you need to do this? Like, we know that stuff already. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know people can go to prison and come out looking good without an Apple Watch, without a, you know what I'm saying, without tracking their macros, without, like, they went to jail and came out looking better. Like, you think they really matters? You know, at the end of the day, like, no, like none of that stuff really matters. Like, you can get to it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. Like, go get in shape if you feel like it. You feel me? It's just, but we got to keep on making videos to remind people, oh, try this way, try this way. You know what I'm saying? So really though, it'd be all up here because it's nothing. Like, that junk is light work. You just got to go do it at any means, you know, whatever it takes for whatever your body is. You feel me? So anyway, look, I hope y'all had a good workout today. Hopefully y'all worked out today, had a good workout. Hopefully y'all enjoyed my content for today. I kept it as funky as I could, you know, and hopefully you guys got a chance to enjoy my personality this time because I was trying to be more vulnerable about what goes on in my own life. You feel me? So hopefully y'all learn some things. And I'll see y'all in the next video. And if you have any questions that you want me to answer, you got any things that you want me to talk about, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I appreciate you guys following me on Instagram, or you can send me messages on here or comment, or you can even send me an email at support@getfitwithkb.com. Again, right now, I'm working on, I think I got this hernia. I'm scheduled for an ultrasound in a couple days. And once I get that done and I know what's going to go on, I can get into my track mode on building and putting this size on, because I'm making this course and I'm make the course from building from, you know, light to middle to advanced, whatever like that. Like, I'm going to do a beginner, intermediate, and advanced course for you guys so that you know how to do it and how to just step through it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just record it and just do a voiceover so that y'all know, like, all right, now you see when I do this right here, make sure you squeeze into your lower back so that it's X, Y, Z. So I'm gonna give y'all a course that's real, you know, detailed and you know, it's worth it, so that even after, you know, like after I die or something like that, it'll be one of them Jack LaLanne course things. Like, oh, so-and-so made that course back in the day. It was like a P90X type of thing. You know? So I'm gonna put one together that works, but it's gonna be a timeless one, like permanent, not no little, you know, it only works if you're this type of person. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys next week, Friday, same time, unless my daughter has a swim meet again. But other than that, I should be here at regular same time, and I'll see y'all later.